Hello, I'm Taylor Ingram with Care Medical, manufacturer of SeQual and AirStep respiratory products. Today we're going to go over the basic operation and setup of your SeQual eQuinox. Everything on the table here are the components that come with your eQuinox when you first receive it out of the box. Obviously you have your eQuinox unit, which is already attached in shipping to its cart. To operate the cart, very simple operation. There's a push button on top that you'll push with your thumb while you grab the handle and pull upward. As you pull upward, you can feel it click in place to lock in place if you want to leave it on that setting or height. You should be able to use the eQuinox on its cart at all times. The eQuinox runs from 3 different power supplies, all of which are included in your initial box. We have an AC power supply, which is the power that you run on when you're using in-home. We have a DC power cable, which you would use while you're operating in a motor vehicle or on the road. And we have a standard 12-cell battery pack. This will run the machine for portability while you're out and about. Let's start by going over basic operation with the battery. The eQuinox battery is installed on the front of the device. The eQuinox battery allows for full operation of the machine. All continuous flow settings up to 3 liters per minute are available, and all pulse flow settings 1 through 9. To install your battery, you want to line it up with the hole on the front of the case like so, and then push inward. You'll hear it click in place as you did there. If you need to remove a battery, there's a push button on top in this little slot here that you'll take your thumb and push down. This releases the battery, and you can slide it backwards and lift up and out. Let's go ahead and put the battery back in to explain basic operation now. Okay, now let's talk about the basic operation of your eQuinox. Just a couple notes before we get started. We know that this unit is plugged into AC power, as indicated by the green light shaped like an electrical plug on the far side of the control panel. Remember, this will illuminate anytime you're plugged into and actively receiving power from an AC or DC source. We also know that the battery cartridge is charging because the battery icon is waterfalling or cascading up and down. Note that the black bars kind of start at the bottom and climb upward. This indicates the battery is charging. When the battery is full, those black lines will fill the entire screen, and it will display a completely fully black battery icon. Now let's go ahead and turn the unit on. To turn the unit on, press and hold the power button for just a second until the unit beeps, and then release it.
The device is running. Continuous flow mode 2.0 liter per minute.
Note that you heard our voice interface system there. The eQuinox is equipped with a voice interface system that speaks to announce any button presses, alarms, and low battery durations. We'll talk about that more in just a second. Also note that when the machine first turned on, all 3 lights came on top: the green, the yellow, and the red. The yellow and red are your warning or caution lights when there's an alarm or event happening with the eQuinox. Part of its normal warm-up system is for all 3 lights to be displayed and gradually over up to a 5-minute period go off. Note that the red light's already gone off, and very shortly the yellow light will as well. When only the green light is left, that indicates normal operation. Currently we're operating at a setting that says C2.0 LPM, which indicates liters per minute. Liters per minute is continuous flow, and the C stands for continuous. So we're in continuous 2 liters per minute. If I need to adjust the flow rate, let's say to 3, I would push the up button twice
2.5 liter per minute.
to cycle through 2.5 and 3 liters per minute. To go down, let's say I needed to go to 1 liter per minute, I would do the same with the minus button.
2.5 liter per minute. 2.0 liter per minute.
If I need to switch to pulse flow, I press the button down here with the 3 wavy lines. This toggles between continuous flow and pulse flow. When I press the button, the light next to it will light up, and we now know we're in pulse dose. This is on an 80 milliliter setting. There's 9 pulse settings available on the eQuinox, 1 through 9, and they go all the way up to 192 milliliters. If I need to change my flow setting, let's say to a lower milliliter dosage, I would simply press the down button. Now let's talk about one of the nice new features of the SeQual eQuinox. It has a voice interface module system. The machine will actually speak to announce anytime you push a button or change the flow rate, anytime there's an alarm, or anytime that your battery is getting low. In addition, the battery screen will also cycle to display how much time is left on your battery in hours and minutes. Ease of patient comfort is a whole lot better with this unit. The voice module interface is unique to the new SeQual eQuinox. The voice module interface will announce any button presses on the machine, such as turning it on or off, changing the flow rates, or changing the flow mode from pulse to continuous. It will also announce anytime you swap power sources, such as inserting a battery or removing the AC external power. It will also announce low battery times as well as any alarms. Let's demonstrate the voice module first by turning it on.
Running. Continuous flow mode 1.0 liter per minute.
Note that the voice module announced that we had turned the machine on as well as the flow rate it was running at. Each time I change the flow rate, the voice module will announce this as well.
1.5 liter per minute. 2.0 liter per minute.
It will also announce if I switch to pulse flow.
Pulse mode 96 milliliter.
And changing back to continuous.
Continuous flow mode 2.0 liter per minute.
As we mentioned, the voice module will also announce any changes in power supply. So let's say we wanted to remove it from AC power to run totally on the battery.
Using battery.
Note that the voice module did alert the patient that the battery is now the sole power source. So this can also be a useful troubleshooting tool to let you know if your AC power is disconnected or not working properly. Let's go ahead and reconnect the AC power now.
External power connected.
The voice module will also announce any alarm conditions on the eQuinox. We're simulating a blocked flow alarm here by kinking the nasal cannula at the output. This would simulate if a patient was restricting their own flow. Note in just a minute the unit's going to go into alarm with the yellow light, and the voice module will announce the alarm.
Low output flow. Check the cannula.
Another important feature is that the voice module also gave direction to the patient on what to do with this alarm. It asked them to check their cannula. Let's unkink the cannula and note that the yellow light will go away. Now we're again running normally. So the voice module in this case helped us troubleshoot an alarm and resolve it. There are several features that you can adjust with the eQuinox voice module. First off, you can turn it on or off. If you choose not to use the voice module, you can turn the speaker off and it will not announce any changes to the device. You can also adjust the volume, and you can also adjust the language so that native speakers can have the eQuinox talk to them in their most comfortable language. Let's start by adjusting the speaker on or off. To access the voice module menu, press the no smoking symbol to the left of the power button. When I press it one time, the word speaker comes on the screen and on is flashing. If I press down, we change the on to off, and this would deactivate or turn off the voice module speaker. To turn it back on, you do the same thing. Press the button, and where it's flashing off, hit the up arrow to turn the speaker back on. And again, this is adjusted on your preference as to whether or not you wish to use the voice module option or not. Now let's adjust the volume. If I press the no smoking symbol twice, it says volume and 10 is flashing. Note that I can scroll down to several different settings all the way down to 1 to turn it to a very low volume, and press the up button to adjust it back to a louder setting. When you're on the setting you like and the screen is flashing, simply press nothing else and it'll go back to the home screen, and that saves your setting. So you can adjust the volume to any level that's comfortable for you. To change the language on your voice module, again go into the no smoking button, and continue to press it until the screen reads a language such as English. Again, adjust by pressing the up or down buttons. I'll scroll through here to show you all the languages that are available. And when you get to the one you like that's flashing, leave it there and don't press anything. It goes back to the home screen and that setting is saved. Okay, let's talk about AC power use with the Equinox. With your Equinox came your AC power supply, which comes in two parts. One is your brick here that has the cord that will connect to the side of the Equinox. And your other is your actual power cord that will plug into the side of the wall. You'll need to install the power cord into the power supply before you begin using on AC power. It's a 2-pin connection that slides straight into the side like so. Okay, we've plugged in our AC power supply now, and I do want you to note that on the top corner of the power supply brick is a green light. It's important to note this green light because it will only light up when you're plugged in to a wall power source. So this is important to note because if this light's not on, that could mean that your cord came loose or that the cord here, the connection came loose as well. If this light is lit up, you're good and you have power coming from the wall. So once you check for that light, it's time to connect your AC power supply to the Equinox. Note that it is a little barrel connector here that will install straight into the side. It's an elbow connection that goes straight in the upright alignment. Once you connect the Equinox power supply to the machine, a green light will light up next to the plus and minus buttons. This light is shaped like an electrical plug. This indicates that you're receiving power and ready to run from either AC or DC power. At this point, you're ready to turn the machine on. If you have a battery installed, anytime you're connected to AC power, it will charge. This is indicated charging by a cascading or waterfalling battery icon as you see here. There's no harm in leaving the machine plugged in and off with the battery charging or even if the battery is full. Patient upkeep and maintenance on the Equinox is very simple. The only step you'll have to remember to perform is to clean your intake filter once a week. The intake filter on the Equinox is located when you lift the handle up on the back side under the handle here. Take this out, remove it, and clean it with soap and water at least once a week. Just be careful not to insert a wet filter back into the Equinox. If you have a spare filter, that's a good time to swap it out while one's drying and being cleaned. Now let's talk about operation on DC power. With your Equinox came a DC power cord. Note that there is no brick or transformer on here, it's just a cord. This end here is the same elbow we had on the AC power supply that will plug in straight to the side of the Equinox. And this side here goes into your standard DC outlet in a motor vehicle. Let's explore now how to use the Equinox on DC power.
The first step is to start your car. It's essential that you always crank the car up first before you plug in the Equinox or power it up on DC power. You'll want your car to be running for just a minute or two before you plug in. During this time, you can secure the Equinox. You don't necessarily have to put it in a seat, but if you are, make sure it's secure as we have here. The most important thing, no matter where you sit it, is that the air intake filter and the exhaust, which I've just pointed to on the back of the unit, are both free and not obstructed at all. Now you're ready to plug in your DC cable to the accessory outlet in your vehicle. Make sure you're using the accessory outlet in the front seat of your car or the one that's closest to your car's battery, as this tends to draw the most consistent power. You might also want to disconnect any other devices such as cell phone chargers or GPSs from other outlets. Now you're ready to turn on and begin using your Equinox. Look for the green light to the right of the plus and minus button indicating that you are receiving power from the external DC power source. Turn on the unit by pressing and holding the power button as we showed you previously in the video. Note that this unit's running at 2 liters per minute continuous flow and the battery is charging as shown by the cascading battery icon.
Now you're ready to get going and use your SeQual Equinox, the most advanced POC on the market. Thanks for watching, and as always, if you have any questions, please contact our technical support department on the number at the bottom of your screen. Have a great day.